At 74, Richard Thomas is finally talking about Ellen Corby. Hey, guess what? Richard Thomas's full name is Richard Earl Thomas, and he was born on June 13, 1951, right in New York City. He grew up in a family that was all about acting and dancing. Both his mom, Barbara Fall, and his dad, Richard S. Thomas, were ballet dancers in the New York City Ballet. Living in that super creative home, little Richard saw discipline, lots of practice, and real art every single day. The arts weren't just some idea to them, they were part of everyday life. This made him feel totally at home on stage and taught him early how much hard work it takes to do well in acting. Even as a kid, he was already doing shows on Broadway and on TV, learning how pros behave way before other kids his age even knew what they liked. Those first jobs helped make him calm, super focused, and someone who always sees telling stories as a real, important job, not just fun for a little while. Richard started acting for real as a child back in the early 1960s. He was in TV shows like The Defenders, Hallmark Hall of Fame, and The Edge of Night. Even though he was so young, he acted with a grown-up feel, and people loved how real and clear his emotions came across. A lot of kid actors have a hard time growing up on screen, but Richard just kept getting better, keeping that honest feeling from when he was little. His big break happened in 1972 when he got the part of John Boy Walton on the CBS show The Waltons. That role changed his whole career and made John Boy one of the most loved TV characters ever. Playing John Boy Walton, the oldest kid in a big family living in the country in Virginia during tough Depression times, Richard became the heart of the whole show. He showed John Boy's dreams, his strong sense of right and wrong, his kind heart, and his love for books so perfectly and deeply. John Boy wasn't just some old-timey picture of America. He felt like a real young guy dealing with big responsibilities, big dreams, and all the confusing stuff about growing up. People really connected with how Richard played him, and in 1973 he won an Emmy for Best Lead Actor in a Drama, one of the youngest people ever to win it. His soft voice, honest eyes, and careful way of talking turned John Boy into a picture of being good and full of hope, right when America was going through big changes. The cool thing is, Richard didn't let that one role trap him or be all he was. In 1977, he left the show on purpose to try new things, even though it meant giving up being super famous. He picked growing as an actor over staying comfy as a big star. After The Waltons, Richard kept making a really cool mix of work. He was in movies like Red Sky at Morning in 1971, Battle Beyond the Stars in 1980, and Wonder Boys in 2000, plus tons of TV movies and miniseries. When he played grown-up Bill Denbrough in Stephen King's It in 1990, a whole new group of fans saw him, and he proved he could handle scary, deep, mind-twisty stories with real feeling. All through his TV time, people knew him for smart roles, like writers, serious workers, real people from history, and guys who do the right thing. Shows like Roots, The Next Generation, The Americans, White Collar, NCIS, and Ozark showed he could fit anywhere and still feel fresh in new stories. Instead of running after being famous, he picked parts that made him think and feel a lot, and that made other actors and fans respect him so much. Besides TV and movies, Richard has always done awesome work in theater too. He's been in lots of Broadway and off-Broadway plays, like 5th of July, The Stendhal Syndrome, Democracy, Race, and You Can't Take It With You. Everyone says his stage acting is clear, careful, and full of real emotion. For him, theater isn't less important than screen stuff. It's his real home where he keeps practicing and remembering what acting is all about at the start. Loving live theater shows he's a real actor, not just someone on TV. Richard Thomas's life at home has the same caring, deep, and quiet strength that you see in his acting. The way he got married, became a dad, and mixed family with a busy job shows how much he cares about home, feeling safe, and taking care of feelings. He married his first wife, Alma Gonzalez, in 1975, when his career was going strong and the Waltons had made him one of the most known young stars in America. They got married while he was changing from kid fame to grown-up life in every way. In 1976, they had their first kid, a boy, so Richard became a dad pretty young. Being a dad so soon made him even more grown up, and he always said family meant everything to him, even with long work days, trips, and cameras always around. Then in 1981, their family got way bigger. They had triplets. Taking care of 3 new babies plus the older boy was full of happy times and tough times. It took huge patience, good planning, and being there emotionally. For Richard, it showed how different his TV image was from real life. Fans saw a smooth actor, but at home it was all about diapers, school times, staying up late, and handling a busy house full of kids. Having triplets made him really a dad who loved his family and worked hard to balance acting dreams with what his kids needed. Even after building so much together, Richard and Alma slowly drifted apart. After almost 20 years married, they got divorced in 1993. Ending the marriage was a big emotional moment for him. Divorce with kids means feeling loss, figuring things out, and thinking a lot. For Richard, it meant changing how the family worked, but still being a steady, loving dad for his kids. The split ended one big part of life, but it didn't make him care less or stop being there for them. The next year, a fresh start came when he married Georgiana Bischoff, who sells art in Santa Fe, on November 20th, 1994. Getting married wasn't just love, it was mixing 2 full lives. Georgiana brought her own kids into it, and together they made a home full of respect, art, and things they both believed in. In 1996, they had a son, making Richard's family even bigger and bringing back all the fun and hard parts of being a parent. Showing how much he cares, Richard officially adopted Georgiana's 2 daughters from before. That choice showed he thinks being a dad is about being there, loving and sticking with it, not just blood. By adopting the girls, he became their real, equal dad, proving family comes from love, duty, and deciding to be together. Adopting them also showed how thoughtful, careful, and caring he is about the feelings of people he loves most. Right now, Richard Thomas and Georgiana Bischoff live in New York, the city tied to his theater and TV work forever. Being there keeps him close to plays, his big love, while having a normal family life far from Hollywood's crazy attention. Their home mixes art and quiet, private time, a place where family feels strong and happy. All in all, Richard's marriages and family story show a guy who handled fame but never forgot what's really important. Through getting married, splitting up, getting married again, and raising a big mixed family, he has shown strength, kindness, and huge respect for family that lasts. His real life matches the quiet power and honesty people love in his acting all these years, so his time away from cameras feels just as interesting and full of heart as his roles. Now at 74, Richard Thomas is at a spot where thinking back feels easy and natural. After so many years doing plays, movies, and TV, he talks with the calm confidence of someone who's been through being famous, big changes, and some hard losses. When people ask about the Waltons, the show that made him famous as John Boy, he stops for a second because the show's special feeling comes from everyone who made it. And no one touched him more deeply or in a more mixed way than Ellen Corby, who played the strong but sweet Grandma Walton, Esther. For a long time, Richard didn't talk much detail about her, out of respect, and because the memories had both love and some sadness. But now, after so much time, he's starting to share how she affected him as an actor and as a young guy figuring out a tough job world. Ellen was a real force, Thomas said once, thinking about their first days filming. She wasn't noisy or trying to show off, but you always knew when she was around. She just had real power inside her. When the Waltons started, Richard was still a teen, thrown into being the main guy on a huge TV show. Ellen, though, had been acting forever in movies and TV. That difference made their friendship special. "I was figuring out how to be grown up while acting like one on camera," Thomas remembered. Ellen got that without him having to say it. She quietly looked after everybody, especially the young ones. Everyone on set knew Ellen had health problems. She had a stroke in 1976 that really changed how she talked and moved, so they had to adjust the show and her part. Richard has been honest about how seeing her keep going touched him forever. What happened to her was so sad, he said. But the biggest thing I remember is how hard she fought. She wanted to keep acting. For her, acting wasn't work. It was her whole self. He says watching her push to get back on set taught him about not giving up better than any class ever could. Even with her body not working the same, Ellen still had super sharp feelings and smart acting sense. Richard remembers times when just one look from her made a whole scene better. She didn't need tons of words, he said. Sometimes she'd look right at you and bam, the moment felt important. That's true acting. He says she taught him how powerful it is to be still and hold back, things he used later in plays and grown-up parts. Away from the camera, Ellen liked her privacy and could seem closed off, so some people got the wrong idea about her. Richard talks about it kindly, giving a better picture. Some folks thought she was strict or cold, he said, but I think that was just her protection. Deep down she cared so much, she just didn't show big feelings all the time. He says she showed love by being professional and always there, not by being super huggy. Looking back today, Richard sees Ellen as more than a co-star. She was like a quiet teacher to him. She showed me that staying in this business a long time comes from being real and honest, he thought. You come ready, you honor the job, and you honor the people with you. He thinks those things made the Waltons feel true and gave it that lasting heart power. Talking about what she left behind, Thomas got thoughtful. Ellen is in TV history, he said. But to me, she's in my own story. I grew up with her right there, helping guide us in ways we didn't even get back then. At 74, still working and with his own big story set, Richard Thomas's words about Ellen Corby don't feel like old memories. They feel like a big thank you. It's him saying thanks to a woman whose strength, hard work, and gentle caring helped build a show everyone loves and helped shape the young guy right in the middle of it.